Okay, so now we're going to learn about the principle of movement. And the first thing you're going to do is read the definition for movement. Then you're going to look at this piece of art, and it just says over here, movement carries your eye through a piece of work. It adds depth and variety. What does this piece remind you of? What kind of movement? And you're going to click right here to add your answer. Please make sure you're answering completely in order to receive full credit. Some ways to create implied movement. So horizontal can imply calm or stillness. Vertical can imply strong, and diagonal can represent dynamic or action. Okay? There's also implied versus kinetic movement, and you can read about that right here. Implied is just, it's actually not actually moving, and kinetic actually does move. Okay, and then you're going to create a design that shows movement. Use only lines to create a design that implies the situations listed below each rectangle. So tornado winds, a calm sea. So I'm going to use the scribble tool up here to create some tornado winds. And if you haven't already, you need to go look at that basic tools demonstration. You can change it to any color you want. And then the next one asks me to create a calm sea. Okay, so I'm going to use the curve tool and duplicate some of those curves to make it look like a calm sea. And change the outline color to blue. On the next slide, do a car crash and skyscrapers in New York, and then you're going to do a movement project, okay? Now, mine is going to look like seagulls. You guys are going to create your own project. It should not look like mine. It should look like your own art. So this is just an example. Okay, so for this movement project, you're going to use the polyline tool to draw a simple shape. You can use one of the Google shapes up at the top, or you can use the shapes provided on the side of the slide, or even better, create your own. Okay, so once you get some shapes that you like, you're going to copy and paste them onto the next slide to get ready to create your design. And then you're going to duplicate your shape, varying the size, rotation, and placement within the rectangle guides below. Then copy and paste your final design onto the next slide. You should have a minimum of 5 shapes and not more than 7 in your final design. Keep your shapes within the boundaries. So I'm just duplicating my seagull and moving it around. If you go over to format options, you can do more with your rotation. There's a lot of fun things over there. You guys can go over and explore, okay? In design, it's always good to do odd numbers. So you're going to see I'm probably going to create 5 seagulls here. Then I am going to copy and paste my design into the next slide and choose a color scheme. And it's over on the left in the slide on the example. I'm just doing blues and a white for the seagull. So this is a monochromatic color scheme because it's the same color but just different shades of the same color, all right? Select each of your shapes and including in the background the template that you were given and fill with the colors that you chose. Okay, and that's my final design. I'm going to copy and paste it. Get rid of the borders, and then I'm just going to do just little fine details before being finished. And when you're done, your final design should demonstrate implied movement. So in the next slide, you're going to look at the artwork on the right and describe how movement was created. Make sure that you give me a complete answer. I'm going to do the same thing on this slide. And then you're going to find an example of implied movement using the insert, search the web. And then you're going to select it and insert it into the slide. And then describe how your artwork that you chose shows implied movement, okay? You're going to type your answer right there. Kinetic movement, find an example, then describe how it demonstrates kinetic movement, okay? Kinetic movement actually moves. Okay, so a chalk talk is a silent discussion using a shared Google slide. And what your teacher is going to need to do is do a Zoom meeting with you and do breakout rooms. And then you guys are going to answer the question on each slide. So what does the sculpture look like? Do you like it? Why or why not? Choose a color, make your comment, and then you can comment on someone else's comment by using an arrow. Then fill out your rubric by moving these boxes where you think you did on the assignment and turn them into your teacher according to their instructions. Have fun with this.